A few years ago, I visited the honey terrace field in Honghe, Yunnan province. And there was one day I was walking along the field in the morning, and I saw an elderly man was squatting by the paddy field, quietly observing the flow rate of the stream. And he said, by simply looking at the water, I know if I can irrigate the field today. There was a certain certainty in his eyes, which is accumulated wisdom of centuries. However, his grandson has already moved to the cities for work and will never again stand guard over the field as he does. In that moment, I suddenly realized that what we might be losing is not only just one person, but an entire system of wisdom for communicating with nature. Agriculture is humanity's oldest profession. It led us from a nomadic life to settled civilization, from famine to abundance. But today, we stand at unprecedented crossroad. On one side, the technology is advancing at a dizzying pace. Satellites crisscross the sky, sensors walk in the field, and algorithms interpret the language of crops. On the other hand, our agricultural heritage is gradually disappearing, with thousands of years of farming wisdom quietly fading away. We hold the key to the future in our hands, yet we might lose the map home in our haste. And today, the global food system is facing the dual challenge. The UN Food Agriculture Organization's global report on food crisis and indicates that in 2024, over 295 million people are living in severe hunger, with the number of people at a catastrophic level of hunger reaching a new historical high. Meanwhile, the World Economic Forum predicts that by 2050, the global population will approach 10 billion people, and agriculture output must increase by 56% to meet everyone's need. But the traditional agriculture models are approaching their productive limits. To produce more food, we have to increase our input. But the resulting environmental problems threaten the production itself. The global food and agriculture systems contribute up to 31% of greenhouse gas emissions, and climate change in turn intensified the droughts, floods, and the land degradation. And at the same time, while hundreds of millions struggle with hunger, approximately 1/3 of all food produced globally is wasted annually. And we produce more only to waste more. This is the deepest contradiction of our food system, which has posed an even more severe challenge to achieve the UN 2030 Sustainable Development Goal. And simultaneously, another silent crisis is unfolding: the disappearance of agricultural heritage. In Qingtian, Zhejiang province, a rice fish co-culture system has been in use for 1,200 years. The fish eats pests and weeds, and the rice protects the fish, which has created a mutually dependent relationship. This wisdom allowed a single plot of land to produce both rice and fresh fish, while minimizing the pollution from fertilizers and pesticides, and maintaining the biodiversity. It is not just a method of production, it's a philosophy of life, to cooperate with nature rather than conquer it. In Honghe, Yunnan province, the honey people has achieved a balance between humans and nature through an integrated system of forest, village, terrace field, and water systems. This system has been recognized by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization as the Global Important Agriculture Heritage Systems, the GIAS. And to date, 99 GIAS sites has been designated worldwide, and with 25 located in China, serving as ecological laboratories honed by time. And however, as young people are moving to the cities, this ancient knowledge is left without successors. And similarly, the situations are occurring all over the world. The terrace fields in the Peruvian Andes are being abandoned, and African dryland farming wisdoms is being replaced by the monoculture. The loss of agricultural heritage is a global crisis. The question is, how should we choose? How do we feed a global population of 10 billion with limited resources? Do we have to choose efficient but fragile modern agriculture, or sustainable but less efficient traditional agriculture? I believe this is not an either-or question. We can absolutely combine the two. And the key is digital technologies. Empowering traditional wisdom with digital agriculture is indeed the solution. So how do we do it? I would like to share a 3-step plan. Step 1, reading ancient wisdom with digital technology. And first, we must admit that in our understanding of this heritage system is far from enough. A honey elder can tell when to irrigate just by looking at the clouds, touching the soil, and observing the speed of mountain streams. This knowledge is implicit based on experiences and restored in his mind. If we do not digitalize it, the knowledge will be lost forever when he's gone and won't be passed on as the legacy of civilizations. What a tremendous loss that would be. Imagine if we can blanket a terrace field with a network of soil sensors to continuously monitor the moistures and the fertility. What if we can use the miniature weather stations to record the microclimate of each small area? Or use the drone spectral cameras to monitor the growth of rice, or even use the AI algorithms to analyze a farmer's lifelong decisions. We are not using the machines to replace farmers, and we are using the machines to learn from the farmers and then convert their wisdom into the storable, analyzable, and the transmittable data. This is like creating a digital library for the ancient agricultural wisdoms. We are transforming implicit experiences into explicit data models. This is the first and the most critical step of protection, the digital archiving. And step 2, decoding the ecological mysteries with data analysis. Why is the rice fish co-culture system in Qingtian is so successful, and how high is nitrogen and phosphorus cycle efficiency? What is the precise function relationship between the density of different fish species and their effectiveness in controlling rice pests and diseases? And before, we only knew it was good, but now, through the continuous data collection and modeling, we can quantify its goodness. We can know exactly how much the system reduces fertilizers use, how much they increase the soil organic matter contents, and how much it supports the additional biological species and increase the household income comparing to the monoculture rice farming. This data have a powerful impact. After we use the data to decode the ecological mysteries of these traditional systems, we can do 2 crucial things. And first, we can optimize. Perhaps slightly adjusting the ratio of fish to rice could slightly increase economic efficiency while maintaining ecological benefit. Even a small increase in efficiency scaled across a huge production volume will lead to a massive economic growth. Second, we can replicate. We can promote these data-validated, successful ecological farming models in other regions with similar conditions around the world. Digital technology giving local wisdom a global potential. And step 3, connecting the tradition and markets with digital platforms. Protection cannot rely on sentiments alone. The farmers who safeguard this heritage must receive the tangible economic returns. Digital technology can tremendously empower this. Through blockchain technology, we can create an immutable digital ID for Qingtian's rice and fish. When the consumer scans just a QR code, they can see which field the rice come from and how it was cultivated, and the ecological and cultural story behind it. This is more than just traceability, it is value recognition. Consumers are just not buying the rice, they are voting for a sustainable production method and the protection of a cultural heritage and giving their trust. And through the live e-commerce broadcast and programs like adopting a terrace field, the honey terrace rice from the depths of the mountains can directly reach the people in the cities. And farmers are no longer the passive producers, they are also become the storytellers and brand ambassadors of their own farmland. Digital platforms significantly shorten the distance between the heritage sites and the value markets, and directly feeding the culture premiums back to the farmers who preserve the culture. And this in turn will encourage more and more young people to stay in this course and to dedicate themselves to agricultural development. These visions are not distant science fiction. In China and many other places around the world, small-scale pilot projects have already yielded very exciting results. In Heilongjiang, the digital technology helps manage the modernized farms, and while in Yunnan province, the same technology is also being used to interpret the Asian terrace field. These two approaches are not in opposition, they are moving towards to the same goal: a highly productive, efficient, resilient, and sustainable agriculture future. Traditional agriculture heritage provides us with time-tested ecological models and a treasure trove of biodiversity. Digital agriculture offers us unprecedented tools to understand, optimize, and promote these models. Agriculture heritage system is just like our seed banks, storing the biological answers to the future climate challenges. And digital technology is like a precision seeder to cultivate and sowing these answers. By digitalizing, improving, and applying and promoting the traditional agriculture heritage, we can empower the sustainable agriculture development. We're using the keys of past experiences combined with the energy of modern technologies to open the door to the future innovation. So the question is, where does the key force for agriculture transformation lie? And the answer is youth. Today's youth play the role of pioneers of changes. They are digital native with global vision and an innate pursuit of sustainable development. They use AI to optimize the farm management. They use the big data to reduce food waste, and they use the blockchain to enhance the supply chain transparencies. They are not bystanders of the future. They are the actors of the present. And this is what we also advocate at the World Food Forum, the empowering youth innovation, driving the development through innovation and achieving protection within that development. The World Food Forum, WFF, is an independent, youth-led global network of partners initiated by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in 2021. Its goal is to foster a global movement that empower and inspire young people to actively drive the transformation of agri-food systems, working towards the sustainable development goals. In Chengdu, we have collaborated with the UNDP and other UN agencies to share a 2,000 square meter co-creation spaces that we have brought together a group of passionate young scientists, entrepreneurs, and new farmers to explore how the digital agriculture can support the youth innovation. In Shanghai, we co-launched the Youth Action on Green Agri-Heritage with the China Internet Information Center to help the young people to apply the modern technologies to protect the agriculture heritage. And similarly in Beijing, we hold the youth hackathons with the Chinese Academy of Agricultural Sciences, encouraging the young people in agriculture to use the technologies and the creativity to solve the agriculture challenges. And moreover, with the help of the World Food Forum's network, we have promoted these excellent innovative practices to multiple countries, including South Korea, Laos, Mongolia, and Italy. Youth are both digital natives and also the green pioneers. They have the ability to build a bridge between the tradition and modernity. Agriculture is the starting point of a human civilization and will inevitably determine our future. Every agricultural revolution has reshaped our social progress, and today we are standing on the threshold of a digital agricultural revolution, and the choices our generation makes will decide whether we can build a home that can feed 10 billion people while allowing all other species to thrive. I believe the answer lies at the intersection of our past and future, in our ability to use the most cutting-edge technologies to safeguard the most ancient wisdom. Let us use the digital technology to inject new life into the Asian agricultural wisdom, and let us draw from the Asian wisdom a warm philosophy of balance and coexistence to nourish our code algorithms. And let us together to sow a seed that rooted in the ancient soil, that nourished by the digital technologies, and which will ultimately grow into a towering tree to shelter all of our humanity. Thank you.